A couple videos ago, I talked about countries that changed their flag, but it got me thinking, what about those countries that didn't change their flag, and that we just don't know because they no longer exist? Some of them had really cool flags, and because for whatever reason, their kingdom, duchy, country, whatever, disappeared, we usually don't know about them. Plus, through the flag, we get to know a little about the countries themselves. So in this video, we're going to take a look at some of those flags, the ones which I found cooler / most interesting. Also, a quick reminder that I will announce the winners of the flag redesign contest next week. There's been almost 700 submissions, so it'll be hard to decide the winners. But let's get started. First, the flag of the Republic of Yucatan. The Republic of Yucatan was a part of Mexico, which declared independence, existing from 1841 to 48 in the area of Yucatan. This was their flag, a tricolor, but not the traditionally striped version we're used to. On the right, there are stripes, red, white, and red, horizontally, and on the left, a green rectangle with 5 white stars. The colors are the same as the ones on the national Mexican flag, red, white, and green, while the 5 stars represent the 5 departments which divided Yucatan at the time. The attempts at independence ended in 1848. However, more recently, and even in the current century, some locals have begun using the flag, sometimes in protest against the central government, and sometimes simply as a way of showing pride for being Yucatecan. Then we have the flag of the Republic of Vermont. This one is interesting because the flag actually predates the country it represented. It's also known as the flag of the Green Mountain Boys, an organization of militias in the year of 1764. That's pretty old. It is said the purpose of this militia was partially to resist the attempts of the New York province to control the area of current Vermont. This militia also took part in the American Revolutionary War, and it is said this is where the flag was first used, to represent a regiment. In fact, the original flag still exists, having been flown at the Battle of Bennington. Also being associated with Vermontian sovereignty, it was adopted as the flag of the Vermont Republic, an attempt at an independent state, which existed from 1777 to 1791, also being known as the Republic of New Connecticut and the Republic of the Green Mountains. It has 3 colors, a green background, probably related to the terrain of the region and consequently the name of the movement, the Green Mountains, and then a blue square on the top left filled with 13 white stars, spread in what seems to be a random manner. The reason why they are 13 is supposed to be in representation of the original 13 colonies which rebelled against the British, establishing the United States. Something odd when Vermont is the 14th state to join the Union. A fun fact is that this very flag is still used by the Vermont National Guard. Another cool one is the flag of the Peru-Bolivian Confederation. The Peru-Bolivian Confederation was a short-lived state that existed in South America between 1836 and 1839. The country was a loose confederation between the states of Peru and Bolivia. Now, their flag is cool, but it has a few big issues from my perspective. It has way too many symbols in it. It joins the coat of arms of the 3 constituent countries, Bolivia and North and South Peru, which at the time were divided. On the left is Bolivia, on the right North Peru, and on the center above both of them, South Peru. The issue is that with so many symbols present, none of them really stand out. I think a better choice would have been to create a new coat of arms for all 3 states. The background is a plain red field whose meaning I couldn't really find, but it was a common color on the flags of these countries. Today, the territory is part of Bolivia and Peru, which each use their national flags. In Europe, the flag of the Tavolaran Republic. In the 19th and 20th centuries, a tiny kingdom was set up on an island by the Bertoleone family as the Kingdom of Tavolata. It was sanctioned by the King of Sardinia at the time, and it is precisely a very small island off the coast of Sardinia, and it's sometimes called the smallest kingdom to ever exist. Eventually, in 1931, it joined Italy. Their flag was this one, a white field with what I assume is the royal coat of arms in the center, a red shield with a yellow six-pointed star, topped off by a crown with no particular meaning other than representing the royal family of the island. The flag of the Republic of Gagauzia is also really cool. I've talked about this one. It was a briefly independent region off of Moldova from 1990 to 1994. But this time I want to focus on their flag, which is honestly pretty cool. It has a light blue background, a yellow pattern across the left side on a striped, and in the middle a white circle. Inside it is depicted an animal in red, which seems to be a wolf of some kind. I couldn't find the meaning of any of these, but I assume they have to do with the culture and history of the Gagauz people. Today, the area is part of Moldova and is represented by their flag plus the flag of the region, this one, which strangely has nothing to do with this historical one. Then we have Galicia and its flag. Galicia was a kingdom in the Iberian Peninsula which existed from 409 to 1833, when it was dissolved and further incorporated into Spain. Their flag is this one, a blue field with several crosses in the background and a symbol of a cup in the center. The crosses seem to be crosses of Saint James, given that Saint James is the patron saint of Galicia and related to the local order of Santiago, thus representing the saint and Christianity. The symbol is, I think, a representation of the Holy Grail, another symbol of Christianity. Today, the area is an autonomous region of Spain, and the flag is slightly different as a region, although the coat of arms maintains adapted versions of the old symbols. Further east, the flag of the Republic of Ragusa, the only flag that I've ever seen which has a full figure of a man on it. The Republic of Ragusa was a maritime republic centered on the city of Dubrovnik in Dalmatia from 1358 until 1808. You might recognize it as a scenery for the popular TV series Game of Thrones, and today the city still carries this very flag. It's very simple and actually similar to Galicia in this aspect. The man portrayed on the flag is Saint Blaise, the patron saint of the city, and the SB initials stand for his name. He seems to be carrying the city itself, perhaps demonstrating his protection of it. An odd choice for a flag, but very cool in my opinion. The Mughal Empire, all the way in India, also had an interesting flag, having existed from 1526 to 1857. Their flag changed a little, but this was one of them. A triangular flag, going against Western standards in green with many small yellow stars, depicting a lion and a sun in gold. The sun, sometimes replaced by a crescent, is said to have represented the absolute monarchy, while the lion is supposed to represent Ali, a historical figure of the Mughal faith. Also in Asia we have Sikkim, a small kingdom in the eastern Himalayas, which existed from 1642 to 1975. Their flag was very simple and also related to their faith. Sikkim used several flags during its history, but they all contained a common element, the Buddhist Korlo prayer wheel, with the Ganki-il as the central element. Until 1967, the previous flags showed a very complex design, and a more simple one was adopted that year because of difficulty in duplication of the banners. With the admission of Sikkim to the Republic of India, the flag lost its official status in 1975. I feel like Asia is the best place to find incredible old flags because there are so many, like the flag of the Ryukyu Kingdom. Ryukyu was an independent kingdom that ruled most of the Ryukyu Islands like Okinawa from 1429 to 1879. Their flag was this one, white, black, red, and blue, with this symbol in the top. It's sort of a 3 comma shape, known as Mitsudomoi. This symbol was adopted as the emblem of the royal family, and the story of why, although only a legend, is interesting. It is said the king was inspired by Japanese pirates who worshipped the Japanese god of war, Hachiman, and because of that, he adopted Hachiman's symbol. Today, Okinawa is a prefecture of Japan and uses a different symbol as their flag, but the ancient Ryukyu flag is sometimes still flown around the island and used for cultural events. And finally, Corsica. Corsica's flag has existed since at least the 14th century. In this armorial from that time, we can see it in color. Corsica became briefly independent in 1729 after revolting against Genoa. It was then incorporated by the French state. And what's interesting is that throughout all its history since the 1300s as a medieval kingdom as part of other kingdoms until present day when they are a region of France, they have maintained the same flag. It started being colored with a yellow background and a man with a white bandana, then being modernized, if you will, into a black and white standard, but maintaining the same elements. It is said that at one point, the bandana covered the man's eyes and was moved up to above the eyes to symbolize the liberation of the Corsican people from the Genoese. This symbol is also present on the flag of their island neighbors to the south, Sardinia, as well as on the coat of arms of the Old Kingdom of Aragon, where it supposedly had its origin. Before we go, I want to thank the sponsor for today's video, Maps International. Maps International is a website where you can buy the best and coolest looking maps ever, from world maps, maps of Europe, or detailed maps of the British Islands. They've been friends of the channel for a while now, and they're actually the ones providing the prizes for the flag redesign contest that a lot of you have entered. Those prizes are their great Scratch the World maps, which you can put up on your wall and scratch off the places you visited, or maybe just the ones you are planning to conquer when you take over the world. Prints of this map are available at 30% off this weekend and on Cyber Monday as well. Plus, they're having a general Black Friday sale on a lot of their products with up to 60% discounts. So if you like maps, you should definitely check them out through the link in the description, and thank you to them for sponsoring this video. So those were a few of the flags of countries that are now extinct or that for whatever reason don't exist anymore. A few of them have been incorporated into other countries, others completely vanquished off the map, and some still managed to keep these flags or symbols in their local representations. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, subscribe and leave a comment below with your opinions, plus any suggestions for other flags or future videos you would like to see on the channel. I will see you next time for more general knowledge.